Hey guys, welcome at another lesson in Startup Dream Date Capital, where in this lesson I'm going to share with you the 4 methods how you can find investors. And investors is of course your holy grail in order to grow your startup. So having a network of them will serve you for the rest of your life. Not only for the current startup, but if you maintain your relationships with these investors like an account manager almost. You can always count on these investors as your true source of money. So this also brings me to a point that maintaining your investor relationships is extremely important now, but as well in the future. In the program, we are teaching you how to structure your fundraising. We are giving you all of the insight of the terms and definitions. We supply you with all of the templates, everything. But all of this is useless if you don't have the investor network. So here I want to give you 4 different methods. And these methods we need to split actually in one side warm and on the other side cold. What do I mean with warm and cold? Cold is typically the investor search methods where if you would reach out to the investor, very likely it's a first connection moment. On the other side, the warm method is very well something or someone who has made an introduction for you. Now let's start first with the warm side, right? The first method how you can find investors is by getting introduced by other founders. Now, and this is, if we need to prioritize it, probably the most effective way to get connected with investors. Now, the problem is not everyone has a lot of friends who already have successful companies and who already attracted investment from investors. So therefore, it could be challenging for you to see how the connection is being made. But nevertheless, it's not impossible because if you're doing the homework assignments in this program where I will teach you how to find investors, then one of these assignments is that you need to create a very clear idea of like who is otherwise in your industry, who otherwise is active in your geography, what are your indirect or direct competitors. And the whole purpose of this exercise is that you get a very clear idea of all of the other startups that are actually active there. Now, just imagine, right? We human beings really love to help others. If you ask someone, can you please help me, right? They will be a really jerk if they say, sorry, I'm not able to. But very likely they are able to help you. And if they're not able to help you, they will connect you with someone else to provide you the help. Now, and why I would like to emphasize this is that if you're reaching out to other startup founders and you have identified this word cloud of other kinds of startups that can help you, then a really good method is to drop them an email, which of course we have here in the template gallery, where you can ask the founder like, hey, I'm super flattered to see what great achievements you have been going through, and congratulations with your latest fundraising. I'm keeping track of your company already for a long while and I feel that you're doing really great. Now, that moment you created common ground, you put some feathers into someone's ass, they feel good, right? And that is the moment where you can say like, hey, I'm planning, not saying that you're currently, no, I'm planning to raise funds myself in X amount of time. And I'm currently busy working on my pitch deck, which I have enclosed here in this email. It would be great if you can give me 5 or 10 minutes of your time to provide some feedback how I can improve my current investment opportunity or suck up some of the tips and advice. Now, very likely, first of all, if you send an email to a founder, which of course you know how to do it because we're teaching you here in the program, the fact that you get a response is very likely way higher than you would send otherwise an investor an email, right? So asking the founder for advice over your pitch deck for 10 minutes, then you ask someone to be on the call for 10 minutes, or otherwise share a screen share about your business, then incorporating the changes that he's recommending. And then after a few days, when you have incorporated these changes, you send that person again a message thanking for their time, thanking for all of the advice. I've listened to you, feather in his ass, and then, sharing the new pitch deck with you. Now, what you have done at that moment is created a relationship with someone. And then sooner or later, you can go to the same founder and say like, hey, I have been seeing that you've been working with investor A, B, C, D. Would you be so kind to make an introduction? And the reason why he wants to do that is because he has seen your deck, you followed up with his recommendations, and therefore he's more or less proud of you, and he will likely make the introduction. Now, in order to motivate him, you could even say as an additional incentive, hey, if you would be able to help me raise this, and that investor will invest in us, I'm happy to incentivize you with a certain percentage of that deal. So he can also make some money out of it. The second warm method, a little less common, but still very effective, is each startup deal, eventually when the term sheet comes on the table, needs to have legal or otherwise lawyer firms involved, right? Why is that? Because there is a lot of money involved, and a lot of money comes with risk, and these risks needs to be mitigated. So law firms and legal firms and legal counselors are in the process. So if you find out who is the key legal or lawyer in your industry, in your geography, that you have found that helps startup closing deals, it could be very wise in an early stage to connect with this legal law firm and say like, hey, you have the planning to raise money in X amount of time and that you want to use their services, and you come up with a price, right? Now, once you have sealed that, it's very easy to ask the same legal law firm, because you see it on their portfolio, hey, would you mind introducing me to investor A, B, C, D? This method works very well, is also very effective, but also requires you to step into an arrangement or otherwise find legal law firms proactively that can make that introduction for you. Another pro tip, but you cannot tell anyone else, is before you make the decision to really work with a legal law firm, every legal law firm gives you a 1 hour free strategy session where they can talk about your business. So let's say you're super excited about that and you plan with 4 or 5 lawyers these kind of sessions, and you decide currently not to work with one. You can still ask them, would you mind making an introduction to the investor? Now, I think these are already 2 very warm tips that you can instantly use to build up that dream list of investors. Now we're arriving at the cold, right? We have discussed about the warm, the 2 methods, the legal firms, the founder friends. And on the other side, we have the cold ones. Now in the cold, we categorize actually 2 different ones. One is through a personal outreach, cold over email, which we teach you very extensively with proven strategies and tactics here in the program that are definitely working. But before jumping into that one, I want to talk about looking for investors through startup events. Now, startup events are a great place where founders and investors are coming together to explore the new trends, explore the new companies. Founders use it to present their companies. And all of these event organizations have these giant lists of attendees that will come to these events. So Through the strategies here in the program there where we teach you how to get effectively or how to find effectively all of these emails, one opportunity could be that through your dream investor search, you know exactly what investor could be very interesting. You check on the list of attendees if these guys are there, and then you drop them an email saying like, hey, I see that you're visiting this event. This is my company, that's your one-liner or your elevator pitch that we are teaching here in the program. And I see that you're attending the event. It would be really great if I can steal 10 minutes of your time because I think our investment opportunity is great for ABC, right? That's one thing, how you can deal with meeting the investors through startup events. That requires you to do some work before. The second option within the startup events is that a lot of these VCs, investors, are all strolling around, right? And there's always different kind of batch. There's a batch for the investors and there's a batch for the startups. So when you're walking there and you have all of these names in your mind, it's very easy to differentiate who's an investor and who is a startup. So the key here is that you learn and practice your elevator pitch. You remember your 30-second, 1-minute company introduction to the point, making bold statements, and otherwise you should revisit that part. And you're using your proactivity. You say like, hey, I'm Sven Mulder. I'm the founder of the Startup Chef. We help startup founders get early access to capital and world-class expertise. I'm looking to raise funds in the coming X and X months. I would definitely be interested in connecting with you. I understand that you're very busy right now, but can I have your business card? And I'm very happy to follow up with my investment deck. Do you really think that one of these investors will say, sorry dude, I don't like that? You will get the card, right? So these are again 2 strategies that you can use to reach out to investors through startup events. Now, this second one, right? We have discussed the startup events. Let's now jump into the cold outreach, which I believe can be still very effective if you engineer it. And why do I say engineer it? Of course, I have taught you here in the program, if you just dump your pitch deck on some investor's desk through email, it's very unlikely that you're getting a response. So just like our dating framework, you want to warm up this relationship, right? You want to connect over social media before you're asking anything. You want to comment on someone's social media post. You want to share your video pitch up front, right? Don't ask for money yet. You want to ask them to connect with you for your investment updates. And when the moment is the moment of truth comes there, and you're really on fundraising mode, then because you will be very careful how you have set up that relationship, you can ask for the appointment. I don't want to go in too much details here because I have designed a special lesson in this module how you can find a dream list of investors and reach out to them. So the goal of this lesson was to really show you the 4 methods that are there. So quickly going over it, the first one was ask investor introductions through founders. The second one was check the legal and law firms, right? Ask for strategy sessions where you can connect with them to potentially work and ask for an introduction. Third thing is go to startup events. And the fourth thing is reach out cold through a very pre-designed strategy where you're warming up the relationship. Now, I hope this was very helpful for you. Without further ado, let's jump into the next lesson. Did you love our video? Awesome, give it a big thumbs up. And if you really love what you're seeing, don't forget to subscribe or listen to our podcast where on a weekly basis I invite game changer CEOs that are moving and shaking in the world of today. See you next time.